Hello, have you ever felt like a ship adrift in an ocean of chaos? The world demands, pressures, and pulls you in 1,000 directions. Modern life is a perfect storm of stress, anxiety, uncertainty, and fear. We're taught to chase success, accumulate achievements, and seek happiness externally. But no one teaches us how to navigate the inner storm that rages in our own heads. There is an ancient wisdom, as old as civilization itself, that offers a map for this journey. A philosophy that doesn't seek happiness in wealth or fame, but in inner peace. A philosophy that teaches us to be the captains of our own ship, no matter how fierce the waves. That wisdom is Stoicism. It's not an academic theory or a religion. It's an instruction manual for life. It's a toolbox for the soul. Today, we're going to unpack 10 of those tools. 10 essential Stoic lessons that will not only change how you see the world, but how you see yourself. These aren't theoretical explanations, but practical guides. Each one is a lighthouse that will help you find your way back home to your inner peace, to your purpose. There's no rush. There are no demands. There's only a voice accompanying you on this journey. Together, we're going to learn how to master our minds so we can, at last, live a life of purpose and peace. Lesson 1. The Circle of Influence, the art of letting go of control. Stoicism begins with the simplest, yet most difficult, truth to accept. Not everything is within your control. Think of your life as a vast ocean. There are things you can control, the direction of your ship, the sail you choose to hoist when you cast your net. And there are things you cannot control, the tide, the wind, the approaching storm. Frustration and anxiety are born when we try to control the tide. Most of us live with constant anxiety because we spend our energy on what is outside the circle. We worry about what others think. We get angry about a red light. We stress about the future. But that energy is spent in vain. It's like yelling at the rain to stop. The secret isn't to stop worrying. It's to redirect your worry. Instead of agonizing over the storm, focus on how to strengthen your ship. Can't change someone's opinion? Don't waste your energy. Strengthen your character so their opinion doesn't affect you. Can't control the traffic? Focus on your reaction. Do you choose to get angry, or do you take the opportunity to listen to a podcast, to breathe? Peace is not the absence of problems, but the ability to handle those problems without losing your serenity. Let go of control over the uncontrollable. Focus on the only thing that will always be in your hands, yourself. This exercise of the circle of influence is a daily practice. Every time you feel your mind getting agitated, when a thought kidnaps you, pause, breathe and draw that line. Is this inside my circle or outside? Can I do anything about it right now? If the answer is no, free yourself. Allow the thought to pass, like a cloud in the sky, without holding on to it. With this simple tool, you take power away from anxiety and give control back to your mind. Think about how much energy you've spent frustrating yourself over other people's decisions, the injustice of a situation, or the past. That energy, which you thought was lost, can now be channeled to build your life. It's not about becoming indifferent, but about becoming strategically wise. You choose where you place your attention, and in doing so, you choose your state of mind. Peace is not a gift of destiny. It's a skill you train by focusing on what truly matters. Lesson 2. Memento Mori, the urgency of living today. Stoicism is not a somber philosophy, but one that celebrates life. And the best way to celebrate it is to remember that one day it will end. Memento Mori means remember that you will die. It sounds frightening, but it is the most liberating lesson of all. Thinking about your own death isn't an exercise in pessimism. It's a reminder that your time is the most valuable resource you have. How many of us live as if we were immortal? We postpone calls, save hugs for tomorrow, wait for the perfect moment to start doing what we love. But the perfect moment is an illusion. The only moment you have is this one. The certainty that time is limited is what gives life urgency. It's what drives us not to waste a single moment on trivialities, complaints, or the fear of failure. Death is not an enemy, it's a counselor. It whispers in your ear, do it. Say what you feel. Go to that place. Start that project. Forgive. Love. Don't let inertia steal the life you have left. This is the true gift of Memento Mori. It teaches us that the greatest regret is not to fail, but not to have tried. It reminds us that every day is a gift, a precious opportunity to live with purpose, to make a mark on someone's life, to be yourself, unapologetically. This daily reminder of our finitude is the perfect antidote to mediocrity and complacency. It's not about living in constant panic, but about cultivating a deep gratitude for the simple fact of being alive. When you wake up in the morning, instead of complaining, be grateful for the opportunity of a new day. Imagine it's your last. Who would you be? What would you do? The answer to that question is your roadmap for the day. The fear of death often leads us to live small lives, to not take risks, to stay in our comfort zone. Paradoxically, by accepting death, you free yourself to live fully. It's like taking a weight off your shoulders. There's nothing more to lose, only the opportunity to gain. Life becomes an adventure, not a waiting game. It's a dance with the present, knowing that every step is unique and unrepeatable. Lesson 3. The power of adversity, the opportunity in pain. Life is not a bed of roses. There will be losses, failures, illnesses, betrayals, and the natural instinct is to avoid pain at all costs. But Stoicism teaches us a powerful truth. Pain is not your enemy, it is your teacher. Adversity is not an obstacle in the path, it is the path itself. Imagine you are a blacksmith. The fire, the hammer, the anvil, all of that is not there to destroy you, it's there to forge you. Metal becomes stronger when subjected to heat and blows. The same is true for you. Difficult moments are not a sign that you're doing something wrong. They are a sign that you're growing. Every challenge you face is an opportunity. Failure in a project teaches you what doesn't work. Loss teaches you to value what you have. Illness teaches you to take care of your body. Stress teaches you to manage your mind. What hurts you is what transforms you. The Stoics didn't avoid difficulty, they embraced it. They saw it as an opportunity to practice virtue, to be patient, brave, wise, and just. The next time you face a painful situation, don't ask yourself, why me? Instead, ask, what is this teaching me? What strength can I develop in this situation? How can I use this to become a better person? Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Suffering is the result of resisting the pain. By accepting adversity as a natural part of life, you take away its power to destroy you, and instead, you give it the power to forge you into the strongest, wisest version of yourself. This shift in perspective transforms pain from a curse into a blessing. A challenge is no longer something that happens to you, but something that happens for you to grow. Imagine that every time you face an obstacle, instead of complaining, you smile internally and say, here it is, my chance to practice patience, my chance to show my resilience. This mindset is an armor that protects you not from the blows, but from despair. Emotional wounds, setbacks, failures, they are like scars on the soul. At first they hurt, but over time they become reminders of what you overcame. They tell the story of your strength. They are marks of your growth. Don't be ashamed of them. Embrace them. They are the map that shows the path you've traveled to become the person you are today. Lesson 4. The dichotomy of control, the practice of radical acceptance. This is the quintessential Stoic lesson. It is an exercise as simple as it is profound. You must accept life as it is, not as you would like it to be. Radical acceptance is not resignation. It's not saying, I give up. It's saying, I am here. This is the reality. Now, what do I do with it? Many people spend their lives fighting against the facts. They fight with the past, get angry about what they can't change, and get frustrated with others. This is a battle lost in advance. It's like trying to move a mountain with your bare hands. The Stoics understood that there are two kinds of things in the world, those you can change and those you can't. The exercise is as follows. When you face a difficult situation, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, can I change this right now? If the answer is yes, then there is no room for anxiety. Act. Do whatever is necessary. If the answer is no, then there is no room for frustration. Accept. Let go. The energy you are going to use to get angry, use it to adapt. Radical acceptance frees you from the prison of control. It gives you the freedom to stop fighting reality and start working with it. It teaches you that true strength is not resisting the inevitable, but dancing with it. Imagine life as a river. You can fight against the current, spending all your energy swimming in the opposite direction, or you can accept the current and use it to get somewhere else. Radical acceptance is swimming with the current, but consciously, it's choosing the direction it takes you. If a project fails, the current takes you to look for new opportunities. If someone betrays you, the current takes you to strengthen your relationships with those you can trust. It's not about becoming passive, but about becoming strategically active. By accepting reality, you free up an enormous amount of mental energy that was previously spent on resistance. That energy is now available for creativity, for resilience, for finding solutions. Acceptance is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new one. It's the starting point for building a life of peace and purpose, not despite reality, but through it. Lesson 5. Mastery of emotions, from impulse to wisdom. Emotions are not the enemy. Anger, fear, sadness, they are simply messengers. They bring us information about what matters to us. The problem isn't the emotions themselves, but our reaction to them. We let ourselves be carried away by the emotional whirlwind. We react impulsively, and then we regret it. Stoicism doesn't ask you to be a rock without feelings. It asks you to be a captain, not a passenger, to be aware of the storm, but not to let it sink you. The first step is to observe your emotions without judgment. You are not your anger. You are not your sadness. You are the consciousness that observes the anger or sadness. It's a silent observer in the driver's seat. When you feel a strong emotion, instead of reacting immediately, pause, close your eyes, name the emotion. I am feeling frustration. I am feeling fear. This simple act of naming the emotion gives you distance, space. It allows you to see it, not to be it. Once you have that space, you can choose your response. Stoicism teaches us that self-mastery is not about suppressing emotions, but about managing them with wisdom. Anger, for example, can be a powerful force. If you direct it toward injustice, it can drive positive change. If you let it run wild, it consumes you. Emotional mastery is like taming a wild horse. You don't kill it or lock it up. You learn to ride it. You learn to direct its energy. Anger gives you a signal that your boundaries have been crossed. The question is how you are going to respond to that. With violence or with a brave, honest conversation? Fear alerts you to a danger. The question is whether that danger is real or just a fantasy of your mind. By stopping to analyze your emotions, instead of being a victim of them, you become their master. And in that mastery, you find an unshakable peace. The Stoic practice of emotional management consists of building a bridge between impulse and action. In that space, you decide. You decide whether you will respond with compassion or resentment, with calm or with an explosion. This is the true power of the human being, the ability to choose. Stoicism doesn't take away your emotions. It gives you the freedom not to be a slave to them. It's the difference between a reactionary slave and a wise king. Lesson 6. The antidote to regret. Action in the present. Regret is a prison. It's the mental jail we build with I wish I had. I wish I had said this. I wish I had done that. I wish it had been different. The past is a closed book. You cannot change what is written. And yet, we get trapped in its pages, rereading the mistakes over and over. Stoicism teaches us to use the past as a school, not as an ordeal. The only reason to look back is to learn. And once you have learned, the only place you can apply that lesson is in the present. Action is the only antidote to regret. You can't change what happened, but you can change the story you tell yourself about what happened. You can choose for a failure to be a tragedy or a teacher. You can choose for a mistake to be a burden or a springboard. The next time a regret assails you, don't stay in the past. Ask yourself, what can I do right now, today, to avoid feeling this way again? What can I do now to correct that mistake, to forgive, to ask for forgiveness? Life is not a series of past events. It is a series of present decisions. And every time you make a conscious decision, act with purpose, and move forward, you are rewriting your future. Regret only has power over you if you give it yours. Don't live in the past that you can't change. Live in the present that you can transform. This lesson is a call to radical action. It's not enough to reflect on the past. You must use that reflection as a motor for the present. Do you regret not saying I love you to someone? Say I love you to those in your life now. Do you regret not starting that project? Start today with a single step. Regret is an energy that is wasted if it is not converted into action. And by converting it, you give yourself the gift of redemption. Living without regrets is not living a perfect life. It's living a life where, at the end of the day, you can look back and know that you did the best you could with what you had. That you made mistakes, yes, but that you learned from everyone. That you loved, that you dared, that you failed with honor. This is the only way to walk toward the future without the weight of the past on your back. Lesson 7. The true meaning of success. Virtue is the only wealth. Society has sold us an idea of success based on accumulation, of money, of titles, of material goods, of followers. We spend our lives running on a hamster wheel, looking for the next achievement, the next goal, to feel valuable. But this happiness is fleeting. Like a drug, you need more and more to feel the same pleasure. For Stoicism, true success is not measured by what you have, but by who you are. True wealth is not in your bank account, but in your character. The only thing that truly matters is living a virtuous life, with wisdom, with courage, with justice, with moderation. To be wise is to know how to distinguish what is within your control from what is not. It is to have a clear mind in the midst of chaos. To be brave is not to be fearless, but to act despite fear, to defend what is right. To be just is to treat others with respect and dignity. To be moderate is to have control over your desires and passions. not to be a slave to them. When you focus on virtue, your purpose becomes clear. You no longer ask yourself, how can I make more money? You ask yourself, how can I be a wiser, braver, more just person? Peace comes from the certainty that you are doing the best you can, that you are living according to your highest principles, regardless of the outcome, and that peace cannot be taken away by failure, loss, or what others say. It is yours. It is the only wealth that no one can steal from you. Virtue is the only currency that doesn't lose its value. A virtuous life is a purpose in itself. You don't need an external result to feel successful, because success resides in the process. Material wealth can be taken away, health can fail, fame can fade, but the strength of your character, the honesty of your actions, the compassion in your heart, that is unassailable. It is the house you build within yourself, one that no storm can tear down. So I invite you to redefine your idea of success. Ask yourself, not how successful am I, but how virtuous am I being? Measure your progress not by what you accumulate, but by the person you are becoming. The peace you seek is not at the end of a race, but on the path itself, in every step you take with integrity and purpose. Lesson 8. The power of perspective, the art of seeing life from above. Have you ever climbed a mountain and looked at the landscape from the top? Everything looks different. The problems that seemed gigantic from below look small and insignificant. Daily stress, drama, worry, everything is relativized. That is the lesson of the power of perspective. When you feel overwhelmed by a problem, the first reaction is to sink into it, to see it up close, to magnify it. Stoicism invites you to do the opposite. It invites you to rise, to imagine that you see your life, your situation, from a broader perspective. Imagine you are a traveler in space, looking down at Earth. Your current problem is just a tiny dot on a vast planet. Imagine it's the year 2125 and a historian is looking at your life. How much will what you're worrying about today matter? Most of our problems, viewed in the long term, are trivial. This perspective doesn't minimize your pain. It puts it in its place. It gives you the necessary distance to think clearly, not to react impulsively, to see the big picture. Stress is often the result of a too narrow perspective. You focus on the tree and forget about the forest. By practicing the art of perspective, you free yourself from the tyranny of the present moment. You realize that what you feel now is temporary, that this too shall pass, and that your true strength doesn't lie in avoiding difficulty, but in the ability to see it for what it really is, just a small chapter in the great story of your life. The power of perspective is like having a zoom lens in your mind. You can zoom in to see the details of a problem and then zoom out to see it in the context of your entire life. Most of us live with the zoom on maximum, only seeing the difficulty in front of us. But by taking a step back, by broadening the image, you realize that today's pain is tomorrow's learning. Today's failure is next week's experience. This exercise of elevating your mind is your tool to combat anxiety and fear. When panic invades you, stop and ask yourself, in a year, will this matter? If the answer is no, allow yourself to let it go. Don't give it more power than it deserves. By changing your perspective, you change your reality. It's not the situation that makes you suffer, it's the way you look at it. Lesson 9. The value of silence, listening to the inner voice. We live in a world of constant noise. The noise of notifications, of news, of other people's opinions, of our own minds that never stop talking. And in all that noise, it's impossible to hear what truly matters, our own inner voice. Stoicism is not a philosophy of words, but of actions. But for those actions to be wise, they must be born from silence. Silence is the space where wisdom and serenity meet. It is the place where the mind calms down and the soul speaks. When was the last time you spent 10 minutes in total silence? No phone, no music, no distractions, just you and your thoughts. At first, it can be uncomfortable. The mind will try to fill it with its dramas, its anxieties, its to-dos. But if you stay in that space with a gentle curiosity, the noise will fade, and in that silence, you will hear a deeper voice. A voice that knows what is right for you. A voice that guides you toward your purpose. Silence is not just the absence of sound, it is the presence of consciousness. It is an exercise in self-knowledge. It teaches you not to react to every impulse, to every thought that crosses your mind. It teaches you to choose what to give your attention to, and in that act of choice, you build your peace. Silence is your inner sanctuary. It's the place where you reconnect with your deepest self. It's where you learn to be your own mentor. Meditation, a silent walk, a simple moment of conscious breathing. They are doors to silence. You don't need to be a monk to find it. You can find it in your car before you go to work, at your desk before you start a difficult task, or in your bed before you fall asleep. These small moments of silence are like water for a thirsty soul. They allow you to wash away the noise, reconnect with your center, and remember who you really are, beyond the labels and expectations. Silence is the space where wisdom flourishes. It is where intuition speaks. Most of the mistakes we make are not due to a lack of knowledge, but to a lack of listening, because we act impulsively. By cultivating silence, you cultivate patience, clarity, and a connection with yourself. You become a lighthouse in the middle of a noisy world, because the light that shines doesn't come from outside, but from the calm you have found within. Lesson 10. The coherence of mind and heart, the oneness of life. We have talked about mastering the mind, accepting the uncontrollable, using adversity as a tool. But at the end of the day, all these lessons point to one thing: coherence. Peace is not found in one lesson or another. It is found in living all of them, in harmony, in what you think, what you feel, and what you do, being in alignment. Stoicism is a practice, not a theory. No one is born a Stoic. We become Stoics by practicing every day, with every decision. Don't expect to be perfect. There will be days when you let anger sweep you away, days when fear will paralyze you. That is not a failure. It is an opportunity to start over. The beauty of this philosophy is that it always gives you another chance. Life is a precious and fragile gift, and the only way to honor it is to live it with purpose. What is that purpose? It is not a final goal. It is the intention with which you live each day. It is the peace you find in chaos, the virtue you practice in adversity, the gratitude you feel for the present. At this moment, take one last deep breath. Inhale everything you have learned, and exhale any weight you have left. You are stronger than you think, wiser than you imagine. You are the captain of your ship, and today, you decide the course. Today, you decide to be coherent. Today, you decide to find peace. Coherence is peace in action. It is living in such a way that, if you had to explain your values to someone tomorrow, your actions would be irrefutable proof of what you say. There is nothing more exhausting than living a fragmented life, with a mind that says one thing, a heart that feels another, and actions that go in different directions. The peace you seek is the result of internal alignment. It is the feeling that your life is a work of art, where each brushstroke, each decision contributes to the same vision. So I invite you to ask yourself, how coherent am I being? Do my actions reflect my true values? Am I building the life my heart longs for, or the one my anxious mind thinks I should have? You don't need big changes. Sometimes, the deepest coherence is found in small acts, in the way you speak to a stranger, in the choice of what you eat, and how you use your time. These small acts, added day by day, create a life of purpose, peace, and above all, authenticity. Peace is not a state, it is a way of being. Thank you for joining this journey. The real practice begins now. Don't look for peace on the outside. Connect with yourself, and peace will find you. And always remember this simple, yet powerful truth. When you learn to master your mind, you find peace even in the midst of chaos.